Most cybersecurity roadmaps are wrong, not because they lie, but because they only show you one path, and most people pick the wrong one. This is the only cybersecurity roadmap for 2026 you actually need. Every path, including SOC, cloud, GRC, pen testing, IAM, DevSecOps, DFIR, and AI security, all in one place, for free, from someone who actually hires for every one of them. I'm a chief information security officer. I've built security teams from scratch and reviewed thousands of applications from people trying to break in. And I've watched most of them study the wrong things in the wrong order and for the wrong role. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly which path fits you, exactly what to study, and exactly what to build, and exactly how to get hired. So let's go. Here's the thing that nobody tells you. Every single cybersecurity path, all 8 of them, follows the exact same 4 phases. The details change, the structure doesn't. Phase 1, foundations, the 3 things every path needs, no exceptions. Phase 2, choose and specialize, where the 8 paths split and how to pick yours in about 2 minutes. Phase 3, the proof, the thing that actually gets you hired, and it's not what you think. Phase 4, the job hunt, where 8 out of 10 people quit, and exactly why. Get the spine right, and you can swap paths without starting over. Get it wrong, and you'll spend 6 months studying things that you will never use. Let's start with the phase 1. Phase 1 is the same for everyone. 3 things, no shortcuts around them. Number 1, networking and operating systems. How does traffic actually move across the network? What happens when you type in a URL into a browser? What port, protocol, packet, and you need to be comfortable in a Linux terminal. Because roughly 90% of cloud infrastructure and most security tooling runs on Linux. If you freeze the moment someone opens a command line, that's the fastest way to lose an interview. Free resources. Professor Messer's Network Plus, content on YouTube, Over the Wire Bandit for Linux, and Kali VM on your own laptop. One focused week on the terminal alone is the highest leverage of your entire journey. Number 2, security fundamentals, and 1 certification. CompTIA Security Plus is the universal baseline. It's in more job postings than any other cert. And it's the only certification I recommend to literally everyone, regardless of the path. Free study, again, Professor Messer's SYO 701 course, roughly £350 for the exam, 90 days if you're working full time. That's it. Not Security Plus and CYSA Plus and CEH and free Google cert. 1. Then you go and build. 3. One scripting language. Python. Not because you will become a developer, because you need to automate boring things and read other people's scripts. Automate the boring stuff is free. 50-line scripts, not 500-line applications. If you're going towards IAM or anything Windows heavy, then PowerShell will be first, Python second. 3 things, networking and Linux, Security Plus, and then Python. That's the phase 1. It takes most people 3 to 4 months. And here's the part that really matters. Everything in phase 1 transfers pretty much to every single path. So even if you pick wrong specialization in phase 2, you haven't wasted a single day. Phase 2 is where you choose and specialize. There's 8 paths, and most people freeze here and end up studying a bit of everything. Here's the 2-minute way. Choose one that really is going to stick to you. Ask yourself one question. When something goes wrong, is your instinct to investigate, build something to prevent it, write the policy that governs it, or break into it? Detective, builder, strategist, or breaker? Your answer narrows your 8 path to just 2. View detective. SOC analyst is your entry point. You triage alerts, investigate suspicious activity, hunt for threats. Is the most common way in and most competitive. 6 to 9 months, around £400 in total. Or DFIR, digital forensics and incident response. If you want the deep investigation version, disk forensics, memory forensics, reconstructing attacks from evidence most people don't know exists. 12 to 14 months, SOC to DFIR, most common progression in the industry. Now, if you're a builder, cloud security engineer, this is the biggest skills gap in the whole industry. 65% of organizations say they can't find qualified cloud security talent. You secure infrastructure with code, Terraform, Python, AWS, 10 months under £800. Or DevSecOps if you'd rather secure the pipeline that build that infrastructure. Fast, static code analysis, that's dynamic code analysis, container scanning. That's 12 to 14 months. Both start at 55 to 70K in the UK. And here's the number that surprises people. The single skill separating 45 cloud security analysts from 75K cloud security engineer is Terraform. One skill, roughly 30K in difference. Now, if you are a strategist, GRC, governance, risk, and compliance, that's zero coding. You write policies, you run risk assessments, manage ISO 27001 and SOC 2. 6 to 9 months. And this is the part nobody says it out loud. The GRC crack reaches CISO in 10 to 12 years. The purely technical track takes anywhere from 15 to 20. Or IAM, identity and access management, the secret gem. It's less crowded than SOC, higher starting salary. Every major breach in 5 years started with a compromised identity, 10 to 12 months. Now, if you are a breaker, that's penetration testing, legally breaking into systems. It's the most romanticized path, and it's the hardest. 12 to 18 months, the most expensive certifications, and OSCP is a brutal 24-hour exam. 50% of the job is writing reports. If you still want it after hearing that, you're probably built for it. And now, one multiplier for all of them, AI security. Not a standalone entry path yet, but the skill you layer on top of any of the 8. 90% of organizations report AI security skills shortages. The OWASP 10 for LLMs is free and takes a weekend. Add it to any path and you become one of the rarest candidates in the room. Pick your archetype, pick one path, commit for 6 months. You can pivot later. Every skill transfers, but the worst decision is no decision at all. I've got a full deep dive roadmap for every single one of these, all linked below in the description. And phase 3, that's where the proof comes. And here's the number for you. Candidates who publish 5 or more documented projects on GitHub get placed at 2 to 3 times the rate of candidates who rely on certifications alone. 2 to 3 times, not a marginal edge, the single biggest lever in your entire job search. That's why I said one certification and then go and build it. Because Security Plus gets you past the HR filter, who gets you hired. And 52% of employers now say their biggest problem isn't enough candidates. It's finding candidates with demonstrable skills. It's a proof shortage, not a people shortage. So what does proof actually look like, you might ask? Well, there's 3 things there. One is a home lab. Matched to your path, SOC, it's Kali, Wazoo, and a couple of runnable machines from OneHub. Attack, detect, repeat. You're talking about cloud? We're talking about Terraform on AWS free tier. Scan it with Chekhov. Fix it what it finds. You're talking about IAM, Active Directory plus Enter ID plus PowerShell. Every tool is free. 16 gigs of RAM covers 90% of what you need. And here's the trap. The lab is not an achievement. Building it once and stopping it what most people do. Attacking your own lab, investigating, fixing, and repeating what gets you hired. Number 2, documentation. I click roughly 60% of the GitHub links on the CVs I review. I decide whether to look further in about 30 seconds. Most candidates fail that test before I even reach their code because there is no README, no architecture diagram, no explanation. Undocumented work does not exist to a hiring manager. Every project needs what you built, why, a diagram, and what you have learned from that project. The last section, what I would improve, tells me more about your judgment than anything else in the whole repo. And number 3, a visible track record. One technical LinkedIn post a week. Not a day 47 of my journey. Actual finding, the detection rule you wrote, the misconfiguration you found. Maybe a proof, not an aspiration. Do it for 30 days and hiring managers start recognizing your name before you ever apply. Lab, documentation, and then visibility. That's phase 3. It's the phase most people skip because it's uncomfortable and nobody's grading it. It's also the phase that decides everything. Phase 4, the job hunt. That's where the things get real. Phase 4 is roughly where 8 out of 10 people quit. Not because they lack talent, because nobody explained how hiring really works. So there's 3 things again. Number 1, your CV has to survive the robot first. 75% of cybersecurity CVs are rejected by ATS software before a human ever reads them. Not because you are unqualified, because the software couldn't parse your 2-column Canva template, or because the job said Splunk and you wrote SIM experience. Single column, standard headings, exact keywords from the posting, 10 minutes of tailoring per application. Boring, it on purpose. 2, stop only applying online. Roughly 70% of roles filled through referrals and direct outreach before they ever reach any of the job boards. Find the hiring manager on LinkedIn, not the recruiter. 4 sentences, the role, 2 tools from the posting, 1 project, your GitHub link. 3 people out of 200 applicants do this. Those 3 normally get the interview. And number 3, treat it like a campaign, a lottery. 5 to 10 tailored applications every single week. 3 to 5 hiring manager messages, 2 LinkedIn posts. Follow up on anything that's 2 weeks old. 2 to 3 months of that consistently beats any 200 generic applications sent into silence. And when they ask if you have questions at the end of the interview, always ask, what does the first 90 days look like in this role? That single question changes how you are remembered. That's the whole system. Foundations, choose, prove, and then go and hunt. 4 phases, every path, and 1 big spine. I opened this video saying most roadmaps are wrong because they only show you 1 single path. Now you've seen all 8, and you've seen the 1 structure underneath every single path. That's the difference between studying and studying with a plan. The tools are free, the training is free, the certification costs less than a weekend away. Every deep dive roadmap for every path is linked in the description. Right now, no paywall. Here's what I need from you. Drop 1 word in the comments. Detective, builder, strategist, or breaker. Tell me, which one are you? I read every comment and I'll reply with the exact roadmap to start with and first thing to do this week. If this gave you the clarity you've been looking and missing, please hit like. It genuinely decides whether this reaches the exact person who's stuck exactly where you were 20 minutes ago. And if you're the kind of person who knows exactly what to do, but struggles to do it alone, that's precisely why I'm building my MP Cybersecurity Academy and community on School. Weekly live Q&As with me, CV and portfolio roasts from someone who actually hires cybersecurity folks, study groups by career path, so you're never only one on your track. Every resource I've ever built included. Link in the description. Subscribe, pick your path, and stop studying without a plan. I'll catch you on the next.